Здравствуйте, FMers. It's me, FM Cheetah. You can call me Matt, and welcome to a little FM22 vlog series I'm calling Shakhtar Supremacy. A vlog series, I hear you cry. What is it, 2003? No. It's 2021, at least in FM, and we are here in Ukraine with Shakhtar Donetsk. Am I getting political? Yeah, I'm getting political. Someone needs to get behind Ukraine and do a save, hey? So, what is it all about? Well, look, I always have an offline save when I've got my main series going on the channel. This year, of course, it's Nottingham Forest. Don't forget to check that out. And for my offline save, I thought, given the circumstances, and obviously this is a very sort of time-sensitive kind of series, I'm here with Shakhtar. And our aim is to be the best in Ukraine, to beat Dynamo Kiev. They've got 16 titles, we've got 13, so we need 4 titles to beat them. They've got a few European Cups, we've got the one. Our aim by the end of this series is to beat them, and you know what, maybe become one of the best clubs in the world as well. Now, to help us do that, we have some money. We've got a fairly rich owner and we have 40 million euros in the bank. We also have Dario Cerno as our director of football. How are you, Dario? I'm gonna have to sack Dario. Davide Posanzini is our assistant manager. How's Davide? Oh, Davide is actually pretty good, the 45-year-old. So, yes, here we are, and that's our job. And how will we do it? We're going to do it in short weekly episodes, 10, 12 minutes, not necessarily full games. We'll be looking at highlights. We'll be looking at goals. We'll be looking at player development. We'll be looking at the club overall. You know, the story of the save. That's what it'll be about. It's fast and it's fun. And to do it, we've got some pretty good players. Some of them you'll recognize. Tete ahead here on the right, and Mana Solomon out here on the left. They're amazing. I've seen incredible versions of the Israeli winger out there. There's also some other names you might remember. Dodo, the right back, he's generally out and about there. And Trubin, a very young, talented Ukrainian goalkeeper. There's a couple of really good Ukrainian goalkeepers in the game at the moment. So from a board perspective, it's all about Brazil! Football! Yes, we have to go to Brazil and sign everyone. That's right. Now, I don't want to just sign Brazilians. I'll sign Brazilians, don't get me wrong. I'm going to sign some young, talented Ukrainians. So I'm going to have a sniff around the other clubs here, find out who's there, and bring a couple in. You know, this is about Ukraine. This is about proper Ukraine. We want Ukraine players here, as well as our friends in Brazil. So here is the squad by potential, and it's a big squad. I've got a feeling we need to offload a lot of players. We might better loan them out, so maybe hopefully we've got an affiliate club. If not, we'll find one. As I said, there are some talents here. Look at this 20-year-old Danilo Sikan. Here he is. What is he, an advanced forward? Yep, sure looks like it. Not a pressing forward, not with that 6 stamina. Maybe a poacher. Yeah, I think maybe Danilo is a poacher. Finishing isn't great, but look, he's 20, he's got bags of potential. We will improve him over the seasons. There's Trubin, the goalkeeper. First choice, is he 18? 19 years old. I mean, look, got some talent? Sure. Raw? Very much so. I mean, 11 one-on-ones, 12 reflexes. Let's hope we put a good defense in front of, was it Anatoly? Anatoly, yeah. There's Mana Solomon, of course, the left-sided Israeli, just outstanding. Look at him. Is he Israeli Brazilian? Portuguese, yeah, there you go. Israeli Portuguese, as you know. Tete on the right, again, a popular signing. Very, very good. And obviously, these are kind of players we're going to struggle keeping, so we need to win things with them. But there's plenty of young talent here. There's also someone special in the under-19s I'd like you to meet. Here is Hurriy Sudakov. Hurriy Sudakov, yes. Okay, so apparently a Metzala, but I don't know. To me, he looks like a pressing forward. Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like to me, except for the 5 aggression. He could, in fact, be an advanced forward. Maybe that's what he is, an advanced forward. But look, we can move him about. He's young, he's 18, he's got bags of potential. We'll train him up front because strikers, they're expensive. If we've got players here that we can grow into great strikers, well, we should do that, save us all the money. But also, obviously, in time, look, we will sell players, and if we can sell them for 70 million, great. There's a bit of other talent here as well. Nothing, major. Roman Savchenko, a central defender, not so much. And who was this other striker? Danilo Honacharuk. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, definitely Hojich. Sudakov. I'm really sorry, Ukrainians. I apologize. He's obviously the talent. So, as I said, the aim is to topple Dynamo Kiev as the best club in Ukraine. Now, obviously, that's well underway. It was well underway before we got here. So we've got 4 Premier Leagues to win, and we've got about 2 more European Cups to win before we can say we are the best. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to see how far we can go. We're going to stick with Ukraine. We're going to stand behind them. And we're going to go win some stuff. We're going to have some fun. So I've got to go to Shani, Brazil, and find some Brazilians. You stay right there. I'll be back in a moment. And we are back. We have had 1 game so far, a 3-1 away win over Lviv. If we look up above my head at the table, you'll see that we are third. On 3 points, 2 goal difference. You'll notice our main rival, Dynamo Kiev, also atop of the table, 5 goal difference. So they had a home game against Minaj, and clearly they stonked Minaj. And what's interesting, if we have a look at the season preview, so there, of course, we are at the top 1-2, Kiev 7-2. If we look right down the bottom, you'll see Minaj 400-1. A home game Kiev, that's pretty straightforward. 2 spots up from Minaj, Lviv, 350-1. So I guess, a 3-1 away victory versus a 5-0 home victory kind of evens out, I think. That is, I think things are looking pretty good, 1 game in. So there were no outs really to speak of, a few loan outs. So we'll talk about the ins. Ibano Dretz, those of you who were familiar with like FM, probably about 7-8 years ago. So I guess what's that, 2012, FM 11 maybe, might remember Ivan Abarts. He was a special little player back then. We have brought him back from, was it Dynamo? I think it was at Dynamo, wasn't he? He was at Dynamo Moscow. We've brought him back in for 3 million, I think it was. 3 million euros in total as some Ukrainian support in that back line. Now, I hesitated about not bringing him back, but I thought, 3 million, given we had 40 million, to have, not only a Ukrainian citizen, but also, a Shakhtar legend back at the club. He's welcome with open arms. He is a squad player, and that's how he will remain. Now, this is one I thought long and hard about. Ilzar Akhmetov, the 23-year-old Russian. So came in for an initial 2.5, which could go to 6, in from CSKA Moscow. He's essentially a sort of, midfielder with a bit of flexibility to play on the left and the right. He's pretty creative. He can pass a ball, that sort of thing. He's 23, still got a bit of developing to do in as a squad player. Because he's Russian, he's foreign, so he will occasionally not be on the bench, and we'll talk about that in a while. But, at this time, I thought, will I bring a Russian in? Will I not? And I thought, you know what? We need to not forget that we're all people, and let's do this. Let's not forget that we're all people together on it. And, Ilzat, he's a person. I'm sure, no one wants anything bad in the world. So we thought, let's be open-armed about this. Let's not say no. Yes, we want more Ukrainians for sure. But, let's not be xenophobic. So Ilzat joined us for 2.5, possibly going to 6. A nice squad player. Welcome Zero in from Sao Paulo for a flat 4 million, 23 years old, still got some room to develop. So obviously part of the great Brazilian migration into Shakhtar, is a regular starter, and this is also a bit of a problem. Again, we'll talk about this at the end of all the transfers, but very nice, very flexible, can tackle, can pass, can play centrally, can play a bit deeper. No traits there that'll stop him doing any of those roles for us, and that's quite good. You can see as we move him around, he can pretty much do quite a few things, mostly about playmaking, of course, which is what you'd expect. A solid addition. Another Sao Paulo entry, Diego Costa, 22-year-old defender, defensive midfielder. We've been playing him as a defender. Came in for 5.5 flat. Obviously got some room to develop. Nice addition to the club. Is a squad player, so that's nice. Not too much pressure to start every game. because that will be an issue, as I said. We'll get to that in a moment. But look, nice all around. He can pass the ball a little bit. He can get forward if we need him to. There's a lot of flexibility in these players, and that's great. Now, an unusual one, Sardar Azum, the Iranian, from Russia. Where did he come from? From Zenit, for an initial 3.5, going to 9.5, depending on goals scored. He's a poacher. This is what he is. We wanted a different kind of goal prospect. He's got 55 caps for Iran, 37 goals. He's not going to develop too much from this. Is an important player for the squad. Again, that might be problematic, but brings something that Le Centre simply doesn't, which is a bit of pace and just a bit of all-round sort of stuff. He's going to sort of run in, likes to beat the offside trap, so we're going to get those early crosses in to Sardar. So Sardar and Lassina Traore, these two are going to fight it out. Maybe they're going to team up. Maybe we're going to play two up front. We'll see how the season progresses. Now, here's a player some of you FMers might know, Gabriel Menino. Speaking about flexible, can play at right back, can play in the centre of midfield. He's 20, he's got bags of potential. Came in for an initial 5 going to 12.5, is that right? Yeah, 5 going to 12.5. Big investment, obviously, so we want him playing as much as possible. Look at him already. He's very, very special, I think, can sort of do pretty much everything. 2-footed. So he'll be, this is the curse of the utility player, maybe, because obviously we still have Dodo at right back. But can always slot into midfield, or if Dodo picks up an injury, can easily slot into that right back position. Would like to get him playing now to start that development process, though. Really need to get him starting. And lastly, in from Fluminense is Caligari, a bit like Gabriel Menino. Came in for initial 7.5, rising to 15 from memory. Yeah, 7.5, well, I think 7.5 over 50 games, something like that. Yeah, a little bit like Menino, although this is definitely a man who likes to shoot. Certainly favours, that fullback position, but can slip in here. We could possibly do something about, centre of midfield if we need to. He's 19, again, bags of potential, loves to hit the ball, not two-footed, but that's fine. Again, a star player, so need to start him as quickly as possible. 1, to get him developing, and 2, to keep him happy. Now, what's really good about all these players is they've all signed really good minimum release clauses. Some didn't bother at all, but if they did sign them, they're sort of 40, 50, 70, 100, 70 million. So, and we haven't paid anything like that. So if per chance, Europe come in sniffing for them, that's good money in the bank as Brazil keeps creating players for us. So a huge squad, and I probably went a bit crazy, to be honest. And the biggest issue, as I've been alluding to quite heavily, is the amount of Brazilians in the team. I got a little carried away. There is a foreign limit here, and it's 7 players in the starting 11, which doesn't seem like much, obviously, but in fact, it's pretty tough given the amount of Brazilians. If you just have a look on the left, up and down here, you'll see a lot of foreign markings. On top of that, Lassina Traore and Sardar Azum are both, foreign players. Burkina Faso and Iran as well. Not to mention that, but also Manos Solomon, out injured at the moment. Israeli is also a foreign player. He's out for quite a while. Unfortunately, picked up a season, so he's out for another month or so. That's okay, because we've got Conor Planka and Fernando playing over there, and both of those players are quite good. So yes, the foreign player issue is coming back and biting me in the butt, to be quite frank. And so is honestly the amount of regular starters we've got in this squad. We've got a lot of midfielders. If we have a look down here, central defense is okay, but at right back, theoretically at right back, we've got Gabriel Menino, Dodo, and Caligari, all regular starters, or a star player in the case of Caligari. So one of these players has to lose out. My feeling is it probably going to be Dodo, but I don't know. He's still wanted. Haven't had any bids come in, and we want to buy Crystal Palace. I don't think he hasn't got a buyout clause. What's he worth? 40 mil. I mean, Crystal Palace ain't got to come in with 40 mil. So we'll have to manage this really well. They'll need to. So if we make sure that Caligari is always starting, and probably Menino starts as much as possible, that'll be good, because it'll keep it'll keep everyone happy. The struggle there is that there are players who were here previously, and those players have relationships. And here they are. Now, the relationship that's missing right now is, in fact, the relationship between Dodo and Tete. So as you can see, there are relations here between Maicon, Stepanenko, and Marcos Antonio. We don't want to give those up. Tete did have a relationship with Dodo early on, although it seemed to fade for whatever reason. These things fade. Ishmaeli on the left, we do have a bit of a gap at left back, although Matvienko is a left back come centre defender, so he'll start on the bench. So Konoplyanka starts this game, but if Manus Solomon comes on, that's another foreign player, and we need to introduce another Ukrainian player into this mix here. Which will either, and we don't really have anything decent at right back. I'm well aware we're playing, in the Ukrainian Premier League. We don't necessarily need Premier League players, but still, we want to win games and win them well. So yes, too many Brazilians, not enough Ukrainians. There were Ukrainians out there, but they were worth big money. Of course, it's a bit like being in England, so it was much harder to bring those in. Whereas, as you could see, bringing the Brazilians in was pretty affordable, and obviously will generate income, and perhaps through that income we'll be able to bring more Ukrainians in and get this balance right. So it's going to be a juggling game for most of this season, making everyone happy, making sure there's enough non-foreign players, enough Ukrainian players proper in there. So that's it. That's where we are. So as I said earlier, we want to keep these episodes short, fast, fun, circumstances. You'll notice maybe there's a bit of a change in tone because there was a big difference between when I started this recording to when I ended it. And we'll talk about that in a moment. So looking at the schedule, we have a Champions League third qualifying round against Genk, away and then home. That's sort of nice for us. Home, of course, being the Olympijski Stadium, because of course we cannot play in Donetsk anymore. And when do we find Dynamo Kiev? So our first game against Dynamo Kiev is home. That'll be nice. Hopefully everyone can keep winning, and then maybe we can pip them in that home game. There's also the Super Cup coming. As I said, we were not doing live games, so I'd expect to be back. Well, given this situation is different, I don't know how it works in terms of the Ukrainian transfer window. Let's have a look. So your next transfer window is in fact just standard. You wait for transfer window 1st of January, but obviously if you have a look at the schedule, you'll see 1st of January is here. Obviously we've got the winter break. 1st of January, we're out for all of January, so that's gone, and then we're back in February for 3 months. So what impact the January window has, I don't know. We're playing right now, and so short windows given tough weather, I guess. Anyway, that's it for today. I really appreciate you sticking with this. Don't forget to drop a like and to subscribe so you can get the weekly updates. I'd ask you please stick around at the end of this video for a short announcement about how you can help, not this series, but what really matters, IRL, the people of Ukraine. Stick around for that. That's it for me for now. Until next time, do zустрічі. Football is nice, but you know what's nicer? Helping people out. The people of Ukraine could use your help right about now. Above me, you'll see here some places you can go to help, financially otherwise. UNICEF has a fund set up to support the people of Ukraine, as does the Red Cross. Also, if you visit ukrainewar.card with 2Rs.co, you'll find a range of institutions that you can interact with to help out financially or otherwise. Football and Football Manager can bring us together. Let's not war tear us apart.